Okay, so if you're not familiar with it, this is my basement. I figure it's a time to update you on the progress with this whole game design career education thing. I think the story kind of started when I was a graduate assistant in housing here at Purdue University Calumet. I came back from Florida, relocated to Northwest Indiana, got back in contact with Purdue Calumet because I thought it would be a good opportunity to come back and grab my master's. I made some good connections there when I was an undergraduate, so it was easy to just transition into a graduate assistant role at housing. Started taking classes in computer graphics technology because an MBA was what was recommended to me, but I had spoken to a couple of professionals who came from the same background I had, communications, and I saw MBA as being more of a general kind of thing, and I wanted to specialize in a particular skill. Found out that the technology master's was expanding at Purdue University Calumet, so I got involved there and decided to focus on computer graphics technology because that was more or less what I was doing in my previous job. When I got into the program, I found that there were a lot of opportunities to learn 3D animation, 3D modeling, and even game design was one of the undergraduate leveling courses that I took getting into the program. And right about that time, I found that Kojima Productions was opening a location in Los Angeles, and they were hiring. At that point, the level at which they were hiring was so incredibly over my head that it was really exciting, but I could see it as being like a far-off thing. The reason I got really excited about it and wanted to start pursuing a career in that direction was Kojima Productions, if any company, I think is a place that I would absolutely positively believe in, as an organization, because it's based on Hideo Kojima, who is kind of a role model for me in terms of career, in terms of just about everything. The guy kind of represents ideas. He started in the industry when he was like 23 years old. He made a couple of, not great choices in terms of design and things, but the fact that he was able to generate ideas allowed him to approach problems and create some things that changed the video game industry in several ways. Creating robust characters, creating robust stories, creating reasons and purposes and motivations. Sometimes criticized for being so cinematic, but really brought cinema to video games. And it was great. He just did a lot of things. Stealth genre exists because of Hideo Kojima. So the guy believes in ideas, and if anything ever, I totally believe in ideas, creativity, innovation, anything like that. If it has anything to do with innovating, solving problems, finding people's passions, and trying to find new ways to solve those things, that's what I'm about. So I figured, if anywhere, Kojima Productions is a place that would understand and accept individuals like me who believe in the whole creative process, believe in solving problems with ideas and not with, let's do an iteration of what we did last time. That's how it's done around here kind of mentality, and I don't like that. I like the idea of approaching something with a problem-solving mindset and just going forward and making something better. Absolutely, positively, I believe that Kojima Productions would be that kind of place. And several reasons in my background. I mean, I love the Metal Gear Solid series. It's something I followed forever. That was his creation. But a little bit of time passed, and I started to see that they were still hiring. The jobs that I first found were way over my head. The jobs that I found later were not so much over my head. And come probably 8 months after I first hear about it, the jobs that they were posting were pretty much things that I felt like I could aim for. So when I started to put that together, I found out that the direction I wanted to go was not specifically 3D modeling, not specifically 3D animation, not specifically coding, but I wanted to have an overview of all of that so I could work as a game designer. Because I wanted to be able to solve problems. I wanted to be able to create experiences, I think is really what it was, is trying to find a way to instill moments into games. Things like, I don't want to go into detail, but that's the story of how this all got started. I stopped working in housing, which gave me the opportunity to start working at Purdue University Calumet's Civis department, which is visualization and simulation. They do a lot of things having to do with VR, augmented reality, 3D printing, a lot of mechanical and electrical engineering. So they do physics simulations and stuff, but what I've been playing with so far is things like Unity, coding in C#, modeling in all the Autodesk products, and things like working with the Oculus Rift, Hydra, and the Leap Motion, which is a new thing that hopefully, working together with my boss, I might be able to create an application for, since it's pretty young still. But all of these opportunities just kind of threw themselves at me, and this summer has been a lot of growth. I started working on this project for the previous chancellor, Howard Cohen, and he wanted to create a game about distributive justice. So I worked pretty much solely on that project and created something that apparently they're going to release, and I actually own a part of that, which is really exciting. So I can actually, once that's released, I can say that I participated in and have part ownership in this game that I created, that I coded. I know, if I did the work, part ownership is not, but for me it's really exciting. I didn't expect to have any kind of, ultimate payout in that, but it was just kind of a project that I did for Civis, and that I felt honored to be even able to work on. So the fact that I get reciprocated for that is just amazing to me, especially at Purdue University Calumet. That's not the kind of environment that I've been used to working in housing. But let's see, what else? So became president of this student organization called I3G, stands for Immersive 3D Graphics, so that's something that I'm going to be taking on. And because I'm more focused on game design, I'm trying to pull that in the game direction. There already is a gaming group at Purdue University Calumet, so I'm trying not to take that away, but I am trying to work with them to partner to make immersive 3D graphics go more in a gaming direction. Because I think that's what people are excited about. I'm sure that people have other reasons for wanting to get involved with 3D graphics, and Civis itself likes to use graphics for simulation and things like physics simulations and solving problems for companies. So that's great. We want to expose them to Civis. We want to expose them to the opportunity to go on and do things for Pixar, stuff like that. But for me, the main chunk of 3D graphics and immersive 3D experiences is gaming. So I want to try to find a way to lean more towards that direction, specifically as it deals with graphics. So I'll be able to explore things like, I really wanted to create a Minecraft server. I know it's kind of dumb, but reason being, there are a couple of people in the department that want to explore Minecraft as, there's a mod program called Feed the Beast that incorporates a lot of these higher level creation tools, electrical and mechanical, and things that run on oil, and it's interesting to the mechanical and electrical engineering and physics simulation people. So I figured that would be a good opportunity to involve those people in immersive 3D graphics. A lot of Minecraft has things that you can create something and then export it to an OBJ file for editing in a program like Autodesk 3ds Max. And then we can take it a step further and even use our 3D MakerBot printer to print those models. So we can expose people to mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, physics simulations, 3D printing, 3ds Max, and also things like the Oculus Rift and Leap Motion, because some of the experimentations that we've been doing so far with those apparently have been on Minecraft. So you can involve people at all these different levels, from AR, VR, 3D printing, physics, engineering, all of this stuff. It would be a great sort of entry to make I3G an interdisciplinary but also incredibly fun group. So that's where I'm trying to go this semester. Also, this is the weekend of Ludum Dare. I intended to participate. I do still, to a degree, intend to participate. Theme is 10 seconds. I've come up with a game to run with. I'm intending to work with a friend of mine, Luke. Okay, sorry about that. My camera fell off. So I left off talking about Ludum Dare. I was going to be working with Luke, my friend Luke, this weekend on it. The theme for the weekend was 10 seconds. I came up with an idea for that. But so far, Luke has been a lot busier this weekend than he expected, and I didn't want to continue on the project without involving him, because I only found out about Ludum Dare because he suggested it, and I didn't want to continue on a project without him, because I just felt like that would be shady. But we're still not sure whether or not we're going to be. It's Sunday night, so we might be wrapping something up in the next day or so to submit. I'm still considering just putting something simple together, but like I said, I don't want to do something without him, because it was his suggestions that got this thing started in the first place. Aside from that, I might have mentioned I'm a teaching assistant for the only game design class at Purdue University Calumet right now. I did intend to take a professor position for one of the freshman entry-level classes, but those closed up really early, so I might be teaching next semester. On top of that, it is August. I'm hoping in May to be leaving Chicago, going to Los Angeles, applying for a position at Kojima Productions as a game designer. This is like ultimately my plan. This is what all of this has to do with. So sometime in the next year or so, I'm hoping to get involved with an actual like game design company here in Chicago. The company that I'm really looking at right now is called High Voltage Software. We do have a couple of members of High Voltage Software on our board for Civis. So I do have some connections there that I can talk to, not specifically about a position in game design, but kind of like in general an overview of what kinds of things to anticipate and what to expect and how to apply these kinds of things. But I'm really looking to try to get that going in the next couple of months, because High Voltage Software, not only are they one of the bigger groups in Chicago, but they also worked on the HD remake or touch-up, I guess, of Zone of the Enders, which is a Kojima Productions. Well, it was probably before Kojima Productions, but it was a Hideo Kojima game. So I think that the HD version is officially a Kojima Productions game. But that is kind of my next step. I want to be looking at, I don't know if I mentioned GDC. Game Developers Conference is next March. GDC Next is coming up in November. I want to apply as a volunteer for GDC Next, because I do want to try to make a better bid to be a volunteer at the actual GDC conference. Those tickets are quite expensive. So GDC Next is on my agenda to volunteer for that. GDC is a major part of this whole year for me, because I feel like that's going to be my testing ground once I accomplish these things that I'm doing right now. This fall semester I'm doing a directed project, which right now is focused on HCI, human-computer interface or interaction. How a computer and a human interact, basically. You might not think about it, but there's a lot to that. There's visual, there's physical, how the computer communicates with you, how you communicate with the computer. It's a big deal. So my subject for that is, the idea that, well, there might be more actions that you want available to a player in a game than they have inputs available. So that's a general idea of where I want to go. We might also be, like I said, going in the direction of Oculus Rift, Hydra, Leap Motion, incorporating some of these experimental technologies. If that doesn't pan out, I do, of course, want to work on working with and understanding game engines and graphics engines, because the Fox engine is definitely on my radar right now. That's something that's under development or being used right now at Kojima Productions. Has not been released at all to anyone under any kind of development stipulation or anything like that. They're still working with their own proprietary titles. But going in the direction of moving away from things like UDK, Unity, and CryEngine and trying to latch on to the Fox engine, because that's where I ultimately want to work. Helping understand there might still be kinks. So understanding how a game engine works, how a graphics engine works, those kinds of things I think would be really helpful. And maybe if I do a directed project going in that direction, especially with input from Kojima Productions, would be the absolute best thing. That would be something I'd like to tackle. My independent study this semester is just simply making a game. That's all I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be taking a single level and making kind of an action game out of some characters, some animation, a win-lose contingency, that kind of thing. So I'll hopefully have a little packet that I can put up at the end of the semester with that experience, and then people can play it and use it and see what's up. That's pretty much everything right now. I feel like I'm in a good place, but I also intended at the start of the summer to be working at a studio by now. I'm really happy at Civis. I think I've kind of dawdled because I want to continue there. There's still more things that I have yet to explore. I'm just now tapping into the Oculus Rift and Leap Motion and these experimental technologies. There's so much more I can learn at this place. And I've only worked with Unity for 1 or 2 projects. I want to continue to expand my knowledge of Unity until I can just sit down and do something. So, I don't know. I guess that's where I'm at. I hope that's helpful. If you have any questions for me, go ahead and leave comments and stuff. I'm intending this to be a YouTube video. So, yeah. If you are currently trying to follow this path, or you're going into game design and you want me to see what you're up to, or see how things have gone differently for you, send a link or something. I'd be interested to know how other people are faring in this same industry and what's up. So yeah, if you have any questions, if you want me to answer a certain question, if you want me to go into more detail on a certain aspect of finding a career in game design, then let me know. Okay, that's it. Bye.